Welcome, Tecmo Super Bowl fans. We have another matchup here between Elijah Peters as the Cleveland Browns versus, playing as the New Orleans Saints, NMUFred, also known as Troy E, depending on who you're talking to. Looks like Cleveland will be kicking off here to start off. Jerry Korrick will be kicking off to Gil Fenerty. And normally in New Orleans we see Craig Hayward put in for that hitting power. Pro set formation. Looks like Minifield will be the defender. Runs right at him and does get a little bit of help from his blocker following him. And he gets away from with Hayward there. Play action gets away with Brent Perriman, jumps up and grabs that. Don't see that called too often, but it does work for him there. Called run 2, second down or 9. Johnson selected here. The run is to Hilliard. Typically you see Hilliard carrying the load with Hayward sometimes playing tight end or maybe that running back 2 position. I've even seen Hayward fill in at wide receiver 2 before. Great play there by Elijah Peters. NMUFred going for the field goal. Might be a little high. Let's see how this goes. And it does go wide, unfortunately, and Elijah Peters takes it over. Dive run 2. Gets in there with Maxey. And plenty of help. Pass 2. Can't connect with Slaughter there. Run 3. This time, Metcalf is able to break away out near the 50-yard line. First down, Elijah Peters. And now he's switching to the pass 4 red gun. Had a receiver open, tried to run it, and paid the price. Second down coming up. Looks like NMUFred sticking with Maxey. It looks like he may be calling run because he's getting a lot of support on those dive plays. Here the speed of QB Browns comes into play. We got 4th and 1 coming up. That 25 maximum speed. Certainly a weapon for QB Browns. Single back formation. Swilling the chosen defender. And really, QB Browns can just go ahead and run for that first down. Conservative, but on 4th down, you can't take any chances. First down with Metcalf, 6 yards. Another pro set formation. This time we're looking at pass 3 and really has his selection of receivers at that point. Runs the ball with QB Browns. First down. 2 seconds left in the quarter. And another run. About 5 yards on that play. 2nd and 5 coming up as we start the second quarter. No score. We got, looks like a run was called. We've got pass 2. Completed to the wide receiver 1 position. And we've got a first and goal from the 4-yard line. and it called QE sneak. Gets it down to the 1. And anything short of a called play is probably a touchdown at this point. Back-to-back QB sneak attempts. This time he's backed up a yard. Huge drone stop there by Vaughn Johnson. 3 straight plays moving backwards. And Elijah Peters decides to take what he can get for points on the board to get that lead. So Elijah Peters' successful field goal is up 3-0. Still early in the second quarter. Infinity out with a decent return. You like to see that go out a little bit further. The thing with using Hayward against the Browns is that most of the defenders can't handle his hitting power and will popcorn instantly. Play action doesn't lead to much here. Throws it up to Perriman, who is covered, incomplete. Called shotgun pass. Throws up a prayer to Perriman, who completes it. And has the first down. Pro set formation. Johnson, the defender. We have a run 1 to Craig Hayward. Takes him a while to get there, but he gets 9 yards on first down. Back-to-back run 1. In that situation, you'd like to see Hayward initiate contact with the defensive backs to send them flying, as opposed to trying to avoid those dives. Run 1 to the top. Got some blocking help. Nice run for NMUFred there. Another run 1 to the top. And it's looking like Elijah Peters decidedly has the taps advantage in this. 2nd and 8 coming up. Shotgun formation. Blaylock, the defender, on defense. The play is called, and this is huge. It pushes NMUFred back near the 50-yard line, which could be a liability for field goal. Third down, you wanted to get some positive yardage to get closer to that that field goal attempt. So, field goal coming up. Warren Anderson might be high. We'll see if this goes through. And it doinks in. 3-3. So NMUFred is tied up the game here late in the first half. Not sure if that was intentional to go with the onside kick there, which is extremely difficult to pull off as player 2. Do have a cold play here. Throws it up to Ozzie Newsome. And it's intercepted, but it's the end of the half. Toy Cook takes it out of bounds. And we're all tied up here at halftime. So far what I've seen, it looks like Elijah Peters may have just a little bit more of a handle on proper personnel alignment, some of the little things. However, Troy has stuck it in there, has played some decent defense, has made some choices on defense as far as play selection that have kept him in the game. Trusting the superior defense versus what Cleveland is working with. Good gain on first down, 8 yards. We've got pass 2 called here. Tries to go for the burn route, and is successful with the diving grab with Webster Slaughter. That's a combination that in this matchup you can trust to throw up to all day long as it's up top. Good run by the quarterback. 2nd and 5 coming up. Pass 3, lots of wide open receivers. Throws it underneath to Mack, which forces the diving animation based on the spacing. And Kevin Mack has a touchdown. Great start to this half for Elijah Peters. And Fennerty stopped out near the 15-yard line. Called run 3. You know, I kind of want to go back in time and tell Troy to put Craig Hayward in as the kick returner and punt returner. Wish there was a way to do that. Although we are in something of a time machine now, playing Tecmo Super Bowl, just doing it online. 3rd and short coming up here. Pro set formation. Johnson, the chosen defender, goes with a run 4 again, gets the blocker help, and gets enough for that first down. Not the sexiest run you'll ever see, but it got the job done with Hilliard. Another run down with Hayward. You know, and if NMUFred could tap, it'd be interested to see what he could do against this team, breaking it when he needs to with the tap, and then running into the lighter defenders there. And we're looking at a 3rd down and 7 coming up. Minimal run last down. Now we've got Midfield, and he has a convoy, but gets a little bit too comfortable and ends up getting tackled with the dive. So great play by Elijah Peters there. That's a phenomenal play. And again with the dive, unable to avoid. And when you have something of a pylon, as you do in Hayward, it's hard to maneuver away from some of those tactics. So NMUFred is now looking up at a touchdown deficit late in the 3rd quarter with the ball on the 30-yard line of his own territory. And again, he calls run, and there's a pass 1 called on offense that has literally any receiver he wants to throw it to. It's basically open. Pass 4 here. Johnson in coverage over the top to Newsom, and it doesn't get any easier than that, folks. So looking like this game is starting to bust open here as we're entering the 4th quarter soon. 8 seconds left to this one, and we have a 17-3 2-touchdown deficit. And as player 2 getting that onside kick is something that's very unlikely to happen if you are able to get that touchdown that you need. So again, Fennerty, he didn't get my message from the future. Hayward didn't come in the game. Pass 4 formation against Blaylock. Walsh also in the game. And that's another observation. Typically I see players that use the Saints put in John Forcade. A little more desirable stat layout. Hilliard gets out of bounds. Nice completion, first down. Offset eye. Blaylock on coverage. Tries to go to the burn route. Unfortunately, the angle just wasn't quite right, and the defender got in the way. Blaylock again on defense. Tries to throw it up to Martin, but it's out of control and out of bounds. 3rd and 10 here coming up for NMUFred. Run down to the bottom. I know you got to be thinking he's got that whole dive situation in his head, but does get tied up by the lead blocker and is able to get just enough yards for that first down. And you got to think that Elijah is going to be content to give that up all day. Time's running down. This time he comes right through the line, completely bypassing the blockers, neutralizing that play. Pass 2 this time. Keeps the ball with Walsh, and we've got 4th and 2 coming up. Hayward runs the ball to the 50. And at this point with the playbook that's selected, there aren't many great pass plays to get your guys involved. Sits on. I bet he's been sitting on that pass 3 for a few downs now, which was the best play for passing he had there. And the first time he attempts it, Walsh is picked off on a called play. QB Grounds is going to go ahead and throw it up to Slaughter. Henny catches it near the 7-yard line. 1st down and 8. 1st and goal from the 8. Called run 3. 2nd and 14. 2nd and goal from the 14. Back-to-back called plays. Gets the ball away. Receiver is on the ground. 3rd down coming up. And we have the pass to Time JJ to wide receiver 1, Webster Slaughter. And that'll about do it, folks. You now have a 3-touchdown deficit with 38 seconds remaining on the clock. Pass intended for Martin is incomplete on the called play. 9 seconds left. This one is not called. Throws a prayer up to Hobie Brenner, who catches it for the touchdown and some pride. Hobie Brenner throwing out there his hidden stats to be clutch when it doesn't count. Well, folks, that'll just about do it. Congratulations to Elijah Peters with the victory, 24-10, Browns over the Saints. Big factors in this game, QB Browns, his ability to run all over the field for those first downs, getting chunks of yards, high completion, and he had the short field to work with most of the game. Saints just couldn't get anything going sustained. I think a more optimized playbook and personnel arrangement will certainly help NMUFred out in the future. The number one thing, I think getting Craig Hayward in the kicking game would be a huge benefit to his Saints game. And then the second thing would be to get John Forcade involved instead of Steve Walsh. Third thing would be going with just a more optimized playbook. So, but thanks for watching. I hope you liked this video. If you do, please give it a thumbs up. If you don't, give it a thumbs down. Leave some your thoughts in the comments for us. And if you like videos like this and you haven't yet, please subscribe to our channel. We greatly appreciate it. Thanks, guys. We'll catch you in the next game.